Okay, guys, welcome back. I am Rachalea. You know that at this point. I have been mothering so much. Thank God, I'm so happy. I love my baby so much. I have not had a second to come on this podcast, and every time I do, he starts to cry. My husband has him right now. So we're going to do this quickly, okay? I am finding a solution for this conundrum that we find ourselves in, that my baby is the most delicious, cutest. We're so obsessed and addicted, but also really want to do my podcast, and I'm finding it hard. I don't trust anyone to watch him yet. I get very anxious when someone is watching him, even in my house. I don't leave him with anyone besides my husband or my mom, and my mom is on her way to Australia right now. So anyways, welcome back. I'm so happy to be back. We have a lot to talk about. It's not going to be that long because he's going to be home soon. So we need to do this, and we need to do it now. But I do want to talk about two things specifically. I want to talk about what the hell is going on in the conservative movement right now. And it's not just the right conservative. And I don't know if you guys are on X a lot. I'm on X all the time. I really probably shouldn't be. But I want to say I can't believe what's going on, but I did say this would happen. I cannot explain to you in language with words. That's probably why I cried on the night that the day Charlie Kirk was murdered. I was not just weeping for Charlie, that he was not in this world anymore with his babies and his wife. I had this foreboding feeling, not just grief and sorrow over, and shock and disgust and nausea at what had happened, but I called my brother Mendy, who lives in Israel. My brother Mendy, Menachem Mendel, is truly, he has one of the greatest minds of our age, of our time. And I hope that you see more of him. And I think you will soon. He's working on some projects, but he's not just like a political genius and a genius overall. He's also incredibly holy and a true Torah scholar. Anyways, I was talking to him the night that Charlie was killed, and I said, Mendy, I have this, that song from Jaws that's like, dun, 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 it's coming. You know that the shark is coming and it's going to rip your legs off. That is how I felt when Charlie was killed. I said to him, Mendy, there is darkness coming. I'm telling you, there is darkness. Charlie's voice was like a dam that was holding back pure evil. That pure evil is in the form of Candace Owens' voice, of Tucker Carlson's voice, just pure, sheer, unadulterated lies that are hard to confront and fight against and debate, because how are you supposed to respond to something that's completely fictional? How are you supposed to respond to total and complete lies? And I told him that, and I was crying. He lives in Israel. He's in Jerusalem. And then I got on the internet and I cried on the internet, which is still shocking. I can't believe I did that, but I had to share with you guys, with the world, what I was feeling, because I said, we're already, and again, you don't have to be Jewish to appreciate this, because the truth should matter and does matter to everyone. But Jew hatred, as a Jew, it rattles my soul to see what's happening now. And I got up on Instagram and I told you guys, we're already dealing with so much radical Islamists. The left also hates Jews and Israel and truth. When you hate the Jews, you hate truth. And I said, and without Charlie, the right, because it was already rearing its ugly head, again in the form of Tucker and Candace, but Charlie was like that voice of clarity. And guys, it's 2 months, I believe, right? It was September 10th. Now it's November 13th. That's basically exactly 2 months. It is 2 months since Charlie has been killed, and I sometimes find it hard to articulate how horrifying what's happening in America is. I've been watching Turning Point USA. I watch all this stuff on YouTube. I try to keep up with what's going on in the world. And at these Turning Point events, there are so many young people, young Americans, young Christians asking these conspiratorial questions about Israel, the USS Liberty. They're all just parroting what Candace Owens, wicked Candace, has been saying, what Tucker has been saying. And the craziest part is that it's so sick and truly vomitous. It is bad for the soul to know that the second Charlie was assassinated, Candace Owens pinned it on the Jews, right? On the Jewish state, on Israel. That's bad enough. it's the perverted way that happened. If there is any conspiracy that you would think is true, it would be that Tucker and Candace and their ilk, their followers, the conspiracy would be that they wanted Charlie dead. You can see it's because they are the ones that have gained the most. Candace and Tucker and people like them, what they wanted for the Conservative Party, for it to become a Jew-hating cesspool, Charlie was the only one stopping that. His voice was that powerful. He was stopping the right from becoming what it's become 2 months later. Tucker and Candace are dominating the conservative movement right now. Candace, I believe, I saw online that she has the most popular listened to podcast in the world. Do you know how horrible that is? Do you understand that her mouth is like an open sewer? Her mouth is an open sewer. There's just sewage, lies that are just disgusting, like true garbage exiting her mouth at all times. She's vile. And if there's anyone who wanted him dead, it would be her and Tucker and the people who follow them, because they are the ones that have gained the most since he has been killed, which makes sense that she pinned it on the Jews. Who has suffered the most since Charlie was murdered? What truth is being trampled on? That Jews are human beings, that we don't run the world, that we love America. These things are gone now. Jews have lost the most since Charlie has been killed, because he had a voice of truth and honesty and holiness and sacredness and morality and godliness. He was an ambassador of God, and he was a Christian. I'm a Jew. I don't care. I still believe he had one of the holiest voices in America, and he was a dam. He was literally a dam holding back the sewage waters of Candace and Tucker. And now that he is gone, now that he passed away, he's not gone. Now that he's in the next world, they are the ones that have gained the most, and the Jews have lost the most. But of course, it's the Jews that wanted Charlie dead. It's just so perverse, and I just wanted to acknowledge that. My baby will be home soon. We don't have a long time I am going to figure this out, though. I'm going to have to find someone to take care of him, someone to trust, so I can talk to you guys again. So what can we do? Okay, we don't want to just sit around stewing in a stew of anxiety. My number one piece of advice, because again, it's not good to just like sit around and be depressed and like, what is happening? Although that sometimes happens to me, like what is happening? Opening X is sometimes terrifying, because the Jew hatred is it's becoming normal on X to openly praise Hitler. Like, I always say, don't post things online you wouldn't say in real life. The thing is, I think they would say it in real life. Nick Fuentes does. Oh my gosh, Tucker is so disgusting. So what do we do? Well, if Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson's mouths are open sewers, just sewage just flows out of their mouths at all times, just lies and fabrications and just fiction, like hateful lies and propaganda, your mouth, my mouth, needs to be the exact opposite. Truth needs to come out of your mouth at all times. How do you align yourself with the truth? It's so simple. And this will get you strong. This will make you strong in a world that is becoming unfriendly to Jews. The world has pretty much always been unfriendly to Jews. And again, if you're not Jewish, it doesn't matter. You love truth, right? That's why you're here. We love truth. If you're here, you love truth. How do you get strong in a world that's becoming immoral, where immorality is becoming just like commonplace and mainstream? You learn Torah. You learn Torah. I don't care if you've never learned before, just open up the Torah and read it in English. It's that simple. There is something about just learning. You don't have to like go crazy and apply it to your life and figure it out and just read it. It's food and drink for your soul. It's that simple. Everyone always texts me like, how do I do it? It's so complicated. It's simple. Open it up in English and just read. That's how you start to get strong. Because the Torah is like a rope to God. It is like God's will, his wisdom, as much of himself as he's given to us. It's his revelation. It's what God thinks is right and wrong, moral and immoral, good and evil. If you want to know God, you learn the Torah. Learn it. It'll make you strong. When you're connected to God, you will be strong. And if you are Jewish, our job is to be a light unto the nations. It says so in Isaiah 42:6, one of my favorite verses. I am the Lord. I called you with righteousness, and I will strengthen your hand. I formed you, and I gave to you a people's covenant, a light unto the nations. That is our job as the Jewish people. Just because other people have open sewer mouths, it actually should make you even more convicted to open your mouth and say the truth. So learn Torah, that will strengthen you. Now, I want to move on to nobody wants this. Okay, if I'm going to be completely and totally honest, which I always am, or at least try to always be, I actually loved season 2. I thought it was so funny. Like there's something, I guess because my life has become very intense recently and I've had a lot of anxiety, just becoming a new mom, like just my baby sleeping, is he breathing? Like those kinds of things. Like you never get a break as a mom, a first time mom, I would say. And then with your second, I've heard that you just get used to it and you stop like having minutely panic attacks. I loved watching season 2. I thought it was so light. Like I love watching something really light. I used to be very intense. Like I'd watch like Holocaust movies at the end of a long day. After I had a baby, I need something completely mindless and light, which, call her daddy what? Which nobody wants this is. It is. And that's why I liked it. I love Joanne and her sister. It reminds me of my sisters. It reminds me of me and my sisters, like how funny they are. I just loved it. But that's the point. It was light and like meaningless. Okay? It was like thoughtless. Like no, it didn't make me think anything. Meaning it wasn't actually about Judaism for me. It was just like a love story. I thought it was cute. Now, the not cute side of it was that it is actually about Judaism. Not for me, but that's actually what the creator, Erin Foster, I believe her name is. She seems like a really cool person. That no hate against her, God forbid. Just, she did say something about season 1. I forgot to get the exact quote. I can try and look for it. Let's ask ChatGPT. What did Erin Foster say? Okay. What is going on? Of course, when I want to use ChatGPT, it's like not working. Okay. Erin Foster, anti-Semitism. She said something. I want to actually give you the exact quote, which I can't find. No, it's not that. Okay. Anyways, she said something about how, like, in the world, this was in 2024, it was last year. She said something about how in a world where, like, people are hating Jews and hating Judaism, it's nice for them to see, like, this portrayal of Judaism, to get a taste of Judaism. And that made me, oh, here we have something. Okay, she said, oh, this is a stereotype of Jewish people. When you have a rabbi as the lead, a hot, cool, young rabbi who smokes weed, that's the antithesis of how people view a Jewish rabbi, right? If I made the Jewish parents like two granola hippies on a farm, that's not it. Sorry, guys. No, okay, that's not it. Whatever. She said something about how, like, this is a great way to show the world Judaism. And I have to disagree with her on that because what you saw on that show was not Judaism. It was cute. It was funny. I liked the show because it was like mindless, but it definitely wasn't Judaism. And I had this feeling, this thought actually, when I was watching it last year and this year. I didn't even finish season 1 because it actually made me angry. But the second one was actually, I think, a little cuter. I think sometimes we Jews, to make Judaism more palatable, cooler, more relatable, less like threatening to other people. Like, we're not so different. We're just like you. Judaism is exactly. We try to do that to make Judaism like everyone else. You water it down to make it like, it's not so different. We're just like you guys. That never works out well, ever. It's just not the way to go. And I think that the season 1 and season 2 kind of did that. Sorry, there's someone at my door, but he doesn't need to open. He's just taking measurements of our window. You might hear some crinkling. I feel like season 1 and season 2 did that. We watered down Judaism to make it more relatable and palatable to the world. Like, we're not that different than you, but we actually are different, the same and different. We're all human beings, all created in the image of God. But we do live differently. We don't date non-Jews. You can say that, it's okay. We don't marry non-Jews. That's according to Jewish law. We don't eat like non-Jews. We have kosher. We pay 6 times the price for a meat. I'm kidding, but not actually. And I talk a lot about like Jewiness, not like Judaism and Jewishness, but Jewy, like being Jewy, and influencer Judaism. Like, a lot of times I think with influencers, I see this a lot on Instagram, and I really don't like it. And I'm not exactly sure how to approach it, because I don't want to create division in the Jewish people, God forbid, as we're going through, post-October 7th world is just upside down and whatever. I don't think God enjoys when we fight. But I don't appreciate this this influencer Judaism that is like so like almost fake. Again, I always say, we love Israel, Zionism, but like they're embarrassed to really look Jewish. Like, the most they'll do is like a Jewish star. Like, that's cool. That's like the cool way to look Jewish, right? But again, they don't want to be Jewy. And it's hard to explain what I mean by that, but that's actually what I mean. We are embarrassed to be Jewy, but we're not embarrassed to be like a proud Jew. Like, we're embarrassed to talk, like, be different in that way. It's exactly the show. Like, Jewish pride, right? Such a cute show about Judaism, but it's not really Judaism, right? So what are you actually proud about? I see that a lot on Instagram, and I really don't like it. Very proud Jews. We wear a giant Magen David, but if you walk down the street, I have no clue that you're Jewish. And I think it's because we don't want to look it. Like, we don't want to be too different. We don't want to be too Jewy. And I think that Hashem wants us to look different, to be different. Hin am levad yishkon, they're a nation that dwells alone. Bilam said that, a non-Jewish prophet. And I think that we should be proud to do all the Jewy things. I think that getting a nose job to look less Jewish is one of the biggest tragedies of our time. It's just symbolic. Like, does it make, thank you, we're good, thanks. He left. I think it's symbolic. And it's funny because I know women who got nose jobs, and I don't like actively judge them, or when I meet them or see them, like, hey, that's not it. It's just in my mind. Like, when I actually think about it, I don't, God forbid, judge. Okay, I'll lock it. Thank you. I don't actually, sorry guys, this is motherhood. Okay, I'm not editing this out. It's staying. So yeah, like, I think that's one of the biggest tragedies of our time. Like, not the nose job itself, but that they did it because they didn't like the Jewish like bump. I just think it's sad. I have a Jewish bump. It's there. I can feel it, and I'll never get rid of it because it's symbolic. It's symbolic. I'm a Jew. I look different. I don't care if you think it's not beautiful. That bump is like the bump of my ancestors. I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. I don't just represent myself. I represent millions of Jewish women that came before me who probably had a bump on their nose. And I want to keep it that way. Because the Torah, because Judaism, because God, because Yiddishkeit, because of MS truth, I go out of my way to look as Jewy as possible. I think it's important. So yeah, study Torah, guys. Don't get nose jobs. I don't think we should. Always remember, Rachel Leah has a big bump on her nose. I can do it too. But just keep it. Be proud of yourself, and let's be a little more Jewy. You know, the halachic Jewish law type of Jewy, not just like Zionism. Okay, my baby is going to walk through the door any second with my husband. God bless you. See you next time.